Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making these little snowmen. It's a bit of a long one, but I've also included the hat, the scarf, the other hat, so you can pick and choose which one you want to make. The bodies are all the same. I start with the arms and then I do the legs, and then we'll start on the head, work our way down. Attach the arms as we go, work on the body, attach the legs, and then add the eyes, stuff them, and close them off. And then we will start with this hat first, and it is a front post, back post, so if you've never done that, it was a little tricky for me to try and teach it, so I hope you guys can get through that. And then we'll also have the top hat for the other snowman after that. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and I am also providing a drop down at the top of the screen for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along with. And don't forget to please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, because not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I post a new video. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin with the arms, and you can start any way you prefer as long as your row 1 is the same as my row 1. And what I like to do is make a knot with a loop on the end, just like you're going to make a chain. And then I insert my hook, grab my yarn, chain 1, and that just attaches your yarn to your loop. That does not count as a stitch. And for row 1, we're going to put 6 single crochets into that loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then pull your tail to close any hole that is left behind. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we're going to do 6 increases. So that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. Row 3, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that pattern all the way around for a total of 16. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then an increase for 3 and 4. And then just repeat those 4 stitches all the way around. 5, 6, and an increase, 7 and 8. 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16. Rows 4 to 6 is just 16 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do those consecutively. So 3 rows of 16 is 3 times 16, which is 48, and I'm just going to flip my marker every time I hit a set of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's one of my 3 rows. I'm going to flip my marker and keep on counting. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, flipping my marker, that was 2 of our 3 rows, and keep on counting. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. And I feel like it's been a while since I mentioned this, so I'm just going to remind everybody, if you find you're crocheting like this and your hook is on the back side here, that's what's considered inside out, and you're going to want to just flip it around, and then it'll bring you back so your hook is on this side of your project. Row 7, we are going to do what I call a double crochet cluster of 4 in the next stitch, and then we're going to do 15 single crochets the rest of the way around. So to begin our double crochet cluster, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and then you're going to go through the first 2 loops on the hook, leaving 2 loops on your hook. For the next one, again, yarn over into the same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, again, go through those first 2 loops, leaving 3 loops on your hook. Again, yarn over in that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, go through those first 2 loops on your hook, and you now have 4 loops left on your hook. And we have done that 3 times, so we have one more time for 4. Yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn, go through the first 2 loops on your hook, leaving 5 loops on your hook, and now you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to go through all 5 of those loops. Now you need to do 15 more single crochets around to get your 16 stitches. And I'm going to count our little cluster as 1 and then start my first single crochet as 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Row 8, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. So 1, make sure you're going in the right stitches on either side of that thumb, 2, and then a decrease, 3, 4, 5, and then a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. Row 9, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 8. And on the last one, we are going to be changing colors, so don't finish that last stitch. So 1 single crochet, 1 decrease for 2, 3, decrease for 4, 5, decrease for 6, 7, decrease for 8. And you're going to leave that stitch with the 3 loops. Don't pull this through to finish it off, and we're going to change the color. So I'll be grabbing my white, and you're just going to tie that on to your mitt color nice and close to the hook a couple of times. I usually do mine 2 to 4 times. Just to keep that nice and secure. And then you can cut off your mitt color. So I'll be cutting my gray. Make sure you cut the right color, because that's easy to do. Cut the wrong color. Then you're just going to grab your new color and pull that through to finish off that last decrease of the previous row. All right, rows 10 to 18 are going to be 8 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do those consecutively. So that's 9 rows. 9 times 8 is 72. So I'm going to just flip my marker every time I hit a set of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flipping my marker, and I'll keep on counting. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, keep on counting. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, flipping my marker, keep on counting. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, flipping my marker. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, flipping my marker. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, flipping my marker, keep on counting. 57, 58, 59, whoopsie, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, flipping my marker, keep on counting. 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. And now we are going to stuff the arm. So grab about as much as you think you might need for both arms and divide that in half, set one to the side, and then you're going to grab about 3/4 of what you have left, and you're going to stuff that down into the hand. You want the hand to be fairly firm, a little bit rounded, and then a very small amount to go into the arm part, just so that you can bend it around. All right. stitch marker out so it's not in my way. And then use this last little chunk to kind of evenly go down the arm. You may have to put a little bit into the hand, depending on how much you have. But just kind of hold the top as you stuff it down. Whoops. That's a little bit too much, so I am going to push it a little further down. There we go. And then we're going to close that off with 3 single crochets. So you're going to go into the next stitch on the front side, and then you're going to go into the last stitch on the back side, underneath both sides of that V, and make your single crochet. Pull that if you need to, if it's loose. So that's 1. Go into the next stitch, both sides, 2, and into the last stitch, both sides, 3. And then you're going to tie that off, leaving a little bit of a tail, because even though these go on as we're crocheting, I do something at the end with these to help kind of stabilize the arms a little bit. So if you've just finished your first arm, I will be putting a screenshot over in the next frame with a timestamp so you can jump back and do your second arm. And if you are on your second arm, just keep on watching and we will move on to the next part. All right, now we are going to start on the legs, and we're going to start the same way we did the arms. Remember, you can start any way you prefer as long as the row 1 is the same. And I'm just going to make my knot with the loop on the end, just like you were going to chain. Insert your hook, grab your yarn and pull up and chain 1. Remembering that does not count as a stitch, that just attaches your yarn to your loop. And for row 1, you're going to put 6 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then pull your tail to close any little hole that was left. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase, 1 and 2, increase, 3 and 4, increase, 5 and 6, increase, 7 and 8, increase, 9 and 10, and our last increase, 11 and 12. Row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1 increase for 2 and 3, 4 increase, 5 and 6, 7 increase, 8 and 9, 10 increase, 11 and 12, 13 increase, excuse me, 14 and 15, 16, and an increase for 17 and 18. Row 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. Rows 5 to 7 are just going to be 24 single crochets all the way around. And I'm going to do those consecutively again. So that's 3 rows of 24. 24 times 3 is 75 minus 30, 72. And then I'll just flip my marker when I hit a set of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker and keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, flipping my marker, keep on counting, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. For the next 2 rows, I'm going to be doing some quite drastic decreases. So if you have a bit of an open decrease that leaves a hole, you may want to have a piece of fabric or felt to stuff into your toe before you add the stuffing, unless you're doing white on white, which you can get away with. So for row 8, we're going to do 6 single crochets, 6 decreases, and then 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to do 6 decreases. 1 decrease, 2 decrease, 3 decreases, 4 decreases, 5 decreases, and 6 decreases. And now we should have 6 single crochets left to finish off the row for a total of 18 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 9, another big decrease row. We're going to do 3 single crochets, 6 decreases, and then 3 single crochets to finish off the row for a total of 12. So 1, 2, 3, and then 6 decreases, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decreases. And we should have 3 single crochets left. 1, 2, 3. Rows 10 to 17 is going to be 12 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do those consecutively. It's 8 rows, but I'm going to break them in half. So 4 rows of 12 is 48, and then I'm going to do my second set of 4 rows of 12, which is 48 again. I'm going to flip my marker every time I hit a set of 12, and then when I get to my 4th row, I'm going to go back down to 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Flip your marker if you're using one and keep on counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flip your marker, keep on counting, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, flip your marker, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, whoopsies, this row is having a hard time, so 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So that's my first 4 rows of 8 rows, and now I'm going to go back down to 0, start counting again to 48 to get my full 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, put the marker, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flip the marker, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, flip the marker, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. And now we are finished the leg and we are going to stuff it. And again, take what you think you're going to need and you'll split it in half. And about half will go in the foot. And if you pick the right amount, half will go in the leg. You want the foot nice and firm to keep its shape, but you don't want to stretch these stitches any more than they already are. And remember, if you're using a different color, you're going to want to probably put some kind of fabric or felt down in there so you don't see your stuffing. And I'm just putting my second half kind of in the foot and then a little bit into the leg. So you want the front half of your foot to be fairly stuffed, but you want to be able to close this down. So you're kind of looking for a triangle shape. You don't want it to be out puffed like this, because he might not sit flat since we're putting legs on the front of his body. All right, so if you are happy with how much stuffing you've added, get your hook back in there, and we are going to fold it in half. Your foot should be okay the way it is, but just maybe double check that after you've folded it evenly, that the top of your foot is facing up. If it's facing like this, you want to adjust it so that your starting stitch right now is on the one side. What is this? The right side with the toe pointing up. Otherwise your feet will be crooked. All right. So we want to have 6 single crochets across. So again, you're going to go in the very next stitch, and then in the very last stitch. And doing it this way, it's going to want to probably give you 5 stitches, so you may have to put 2 stitches in one. So that's 1, 2, and I'm going to do a increase in the middle for 3 and 4, because I only have 2 stitches on this side. So then there's 5 and 6, and it's just a little more uniform if you put your increase in the middle instead of the end. So cut a little bit of a tail. I'm not really doing anything with those except shoving them inside as we go around, but it's there if we need it for anything. All right, so if you've just finished off your first leg, I will put a screenshot in the next frame with a timestamp so you can go back and start again. And if you are done your second leg, just keep on watching for the next part. All right, we are going to begin the head, and remember you can start any way you prefer as long as row 1 is the same. And I'm going to make my knot with the loop on the end, just like you're going to make a chain. Insert my hook, chain 1, and that does not count as a stitch. That just attaches your yarn to your loop. And for row 1, you're going to do 6 single crochets into that loop. 1, 2, remember to go over your tail, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pull your tail if you need to close up the hole in the center. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases, so 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12. Row 3, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. 1, increase, 2 and 3. 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and an increase for 23 and 24. Row 5, you're going to do 3 single crochets, a 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30. Row 6, you're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, increase, 35 and 36. Row 7, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 6 and 7. Whoops. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, increase, 13 and 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, increase, 20 and 21. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, increase, 27 and 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, increase, 34 and 35, 36, oopsie, here and there, 37, 38, 39, 40, increase, 41 and 42. Rows 8 to 14 is going to be 42 single crochets all the way around. That's 7 rows, and I'm going to be using my stitch marker for that. So I have it set at row 7 because we're about to start row 8. 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoopsie, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So I'll flip my marker to my counter to 8 because that was row 8. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 9. And another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That was row 10. Another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 11. Another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That's row 12. Another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That was row 13. We've got one more row. So another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. And that was row 14. And now we are ready to start row 15, decreasing. Row 15, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and a decrease for 36. Row 16, you're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and a decrease for 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30. Row 17, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Row 18, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. Row 19, we're going to add the arms. So we're going to go 3 single crochets, then 3 through the arm and the head, then 6 single crochets, then 3 through the arm and the head, and then we should end up with 3 single crochets on this side. So let's start with our 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now grab your arm. Now remembering where you've been switching rows is the back. And you want to take your arm with the thumb facing the front, and your string should also be facing the front. And you're going to go through the arm in that first single crochet, and then you're going to go through the head in the next single crochet. So that's 1, and we need to do 3. So number 2, through the arm, through the head, that's 2, and our third one through the arm. Oops, I'm trying to get the string out of your way and I'm making it worse. And through the head, that's 3. And make sure you're going through both sides. And then you're going to do 6 single crochets across, making sure you're in the next stitch, because it's really easy to go in the same stitch because you're pulling it over so much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to grab the other arm, remembering where your back is. Again, you want that thumb facing the front as well as the string. And you're going to go through the arm and the head into the next stitch. So that's 1. Again, to the arm and the next stitch of the head. That's 2. And again, through the arm and the next stitch of the head. 3. Now you should have 3 stitches left. So the next stitch, 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we are going to be continuing on to the body, and row 20 is 2 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, and an increase, 7 and 8, and don't go over these arm strings. You're going to need them on the outside later. 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, and an increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. Row 21, we're going to just do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 22, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5. 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, whoops, 13, increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20. 21, 22, 23, increase, 24 and 25. 26, 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30. Row 23, we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35 and 36. Rows 24 to 29 are going to be 36 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to grab my stitch marker again, and that's 6 rows. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So that was row 24. Another row of 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So that was row 25. Another row of 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, so that was row 26, and another row of 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. That was row 27. And another row of 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. That was row 28, and we're going to 29, so we have one row left. Another row of 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So that was row 29. Row 30, you're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease for 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and a decrease for 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30. Row 31, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. All right, now we're going to add the legs. So you want to lay your guy down facing you, so the back is away from you. And you want them to be nice and flat and even, and you want to have 12 single crochets across the front and 12 across the back. So starting on the opposite side of the way you crochet, so I'm crocheting this way, so I'm going to start on this side. If you're left-handed, I'm not 100% sure, but you might just go the opposite way. But what we're trying to do is find out where our first leg is starting. So I'm just going to count these stitches, and I hope you can see them in the white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I have 12 evenly across the front. So I'm going to put my needle in that 12th stitch just to mark it. I have them counted out and it should be right. But just in case you aren't in the same spot as me, now you'll know how to find where to put your first leg. Okay, so for row 32, we're going to start. I have written down 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excuse me, 7, and 8. And that brings me up to where I need to start my first leg. So I'm going to remove this. Now, when you put your leg on, you want to make sure you don't do it upside down. So if you lay it flat and you look with the toes pointing up, then you're going to bring it towards you like that. And that is how you want to be sewing it on. So the point of the toe is pointing towards the arms and the head and the body. So you're going to go through your first single crochet of the leg, and just like we did the arms, you're going to go through your next single crochet in the body, and you're going to do 6 single crochets across. So 1 through the leg and the next stitch of the body, 2 through the leg and the next stitch of the body, 3 through the leg and the next stitch of the body, 4 through the leg and the next stitch of the body, 5 and the last stitch through the leg and the next stitch of the body, sorry, it's really hard for me to try and get the camera angle for you guys. And now you're going to grab your, I'm just going to throw this out of my way here. It'll eventually end up on the inside. Grab your other leg and we're going to do the exact same thing. Make sure the toe is pointing towards your little snowman. And in the first stitch of the leg and the next stitch of the body. So that's 1. And through the leg and the next stitch of the body, that's 2. Through the leg and the next stitch of the body, that's 3. Through the leg and the next stitch of the body, that's 4. Through the leg And the next stitch of the body, that's 5. And our last one through the leg, and the next stitch of the body, that's 6. And then we should have 4 single crochets left to finish off our row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, let's put the eyes on and stuff him up a little bit before we get too far, because we only got about 4 rows left before we close him up, or her. All right, so let's add some stuffing to the head. This is just so we can kind of see where our eyeballs are going to be sitting. We'll be taking it out to put our eyes back in. Just so we can kind of find our center. So I use my arms and my legs to kind of find the center, but you can also go by the stitches where you attach the arms and just count over. So this is about center right here. So I'm just going to come up, put a pin in, and I'm putting my pin in between a stitch so I have holes on both sides. And then we are going to count down to be between rows 10 and 11. So our center loop here is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I actually got it in the right spot. So between 10 and 11. And then you're going to grab your eyes. And I'm using 12mm mainly because I have more of them, but a 14mm would actually look a little nicer in there. So you're going to count over 4 holes from this pin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to put it in that 4th hole. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that 4th hole is where you're going to put your other eye. And then just have a quick look that you're happy with it and that it does look centered to you still. And if you like how it is, if you can, oh, I don't need to take my stuffing out. If you can do it without removing your stuffing, that's great. We'll just put them backs on. If you need to remove your stuffing, go ahead and do that. Click them down. And do the other side. I am stretching this a little bit. I probably should have took the stuffing out. But I'm going to try and get away with it here. There we go. And once you have your eyes in, you can finish stuffing the head. You want it to be fairly firm. And it's going to be a little awkward with all these strings, but let's get that stuffing down in there. Push it a bit to the side so he's got a bit of a wider head than a longer head. But make sure you're not pushing them stitches out. You don't want your stuffing showing through there. Now if you're happy with how much stuffing's in the head, start stuffing about half the body. just so you have enough room to keep decreasing without, you know, being too overstuffed, so it's a little on the harder side. Ooh, that guy's lopsided. Okay, his one eye needs a twist. Okay, let's get all your strings situated and your hook back in. And for row 33, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3. Oops, watch you don't get any stuffing. 4, 5, and a decrease for 6. Whoops. 7, 8, and a decrease for 9. 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. And remember to stuff as you go if you need to, and I'm just going to keep going till I get to the very end and add a little bit more. Row 34 is going to be 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for 12. So 1, and a decrease for 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, and a decrease for 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. Just going to add a little bit stuffing in here again. Remember, we do want the bottom to be kind of flat, so we sit. And row 35, 6 decreases. So 1 decrease, 2 decreases, 3 decreases, 4 decreases, 5 decreases, and 6 decreases. All right, Now you're just going to slip stitch in the next stitch. And this is your last chance to add stuffing because we're going to be closing him off here. We'll tie that off and give it a cut. Grab your darning needle and we're going to thread that piece on. I'm going to take my stitch marker out. And you're just going to weave that in and out. I'm going in the top loop. I don't think it matters where you go, but that's just what I've been doing. Then you're going to close that up by giving it a little pull. Tie a knot right close to where you just came out. Once or twice, and then you are going to hide that knot down inside and then out. That's the front, or is it? Oh, that's the back, out the back somewhere. I did that one time, I think, with a Frankenstein. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't, after I pulled my stitch marker, why I couldn't figure out the front from the back. And I realized I'd forgotten to put the eyes on. Okay, well, we have our needles out. Let's put these strings in. So you're going to thread your needle, and right where you put your last stitch joining the arm, you're going to put your needle in there and out the back in the middle of the neck somewhere. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So right where that last stitch is, you can double check that you're going along the same line. It's usually a good idea. And then come out the exact same stitch your other string came out. Oh, there we go. And you're going to give that one tie, keeping track of your ends so they don't crisscross. So one tie, and then pull them out. Kind of wrap them around the head as you turn him around. And then you're going to pull these strings to pop these knots in and kind of bring his arms forward a bit. So pull until they're where you want them. Make sure they're kind of even, and then when you're happy with where they are, you're just going to give that a better tie in the back. Remember, this will relax a little bit over time. And then rethread your needle with both strings. And then bring them in and out somewhere. I'm going to just try and come out the bottom. Trim those ends off. All right, let's make a little nose now. So leave a bit of a tail for stitching it on. Oops. And then make your knot like you're going to make a chain, because we will be chaining. And you're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this second chain from the hook, so not the one on your hook, not this first one, but this second one right here, you're going to do a slip stitch, another slip stitch, and then a single crochet. And then you're going to tie that off, cut it if you need to. All right, now you want to kind of find center to add your nose. So you're going to start counting on the row where you added your eyes. So this row right here, and you're going to go down one row, estimate where the center bars are. And let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So that's the stitch I'm going to go around for my nose. And I want to have this bigger knot from where I started my chain on the bottom. So I'm going to take the top piece from where I tied off, thread that, and I'm going to go in one side and out one row down. So over and down. And then I'm going to take my other side of my nose and thread that on. And I went in this row. I'm going to go down 2 rows, 1, 2, find the matching bar underneath. I'm going to go in and come back out where I went out on the top. And then I want to pull those knots inside if I can. Wait. There we go. And then we're going to tie these. Oh, that knot could come in a bit more. Then you're going to tie these 2 strings nice and tight. And then we're going to hide them out the back of the head. So right back in where they came out, and then out the back. And give them a tug if you still need to get those knots in a bit. Tie that off. And of course you can put your nose anywhere you want. That's just where I decided to put it. And it could actually be a row higher. Looking at it right now. All right, now grab a scrap of black so you can do the mouth, or whatever color you're using. And I'm just gonna go about a row or 2 down from where I ended the nose. I think I'm gonna go a row and just kind of even with the eye. That's where I want my first mouth corner to be, and of course you can put it anywhere you want. Then I'm just going to kind of match that on the other side, so about right there, I think. So I'm going to come in from down below at the neck. I'm going to come up this one side where this pin is. Leave a little bit of a tail there to put these ends back in. And then I'm going to come in where this other pin is. And then I forget where I was when the phone rang, but you're going in this yellow pin, and then you're going to be going out one row down in the center. So I'm going right under the nose. I guess this was a little more than a scrap. And I'm going to come up. So I'm under the mouth line, and then I'm coming back down. I'm going to go in that same hole, and I'm going to come out where I started so I can tie it. Oh, shoot. I had to write my message on my hand. I'm scared I'm going to put pen on this little guy. So there we go. Now another one I made, I also went across here and across here, but I wasn't sure I was happy with it. So I'm just going to do this simple little smile. And then we're going to put this in. Yikes, I can't even reach the end of it. There we go. And then thread that out the back. Okay, I am going to go take a little break and see if these survey pins are out in the barn for my husband. And then we'll come back and I think we're ready to do the hats. Alright, we're going to start with the toque, and I'm going to do this one in brown. Just because I'm running low on my gray with the sparkle, and black does not work out good on film. So you can again start however you want. And I am going to start my way with the knot with the loop on the end. And we're going to be doing half double crochets. So this time when I go into my loop and pull up, I'm going to chain 2. All right, so for a half double crochet, you're going to yarn, it's basically a single crochet, only you yarn over first. So yarn over into your loop, grab your yarn, pull up. You've got 3 loops instead of 2, and then you just grab your yarn and go through all 3. So this whole toque is half double crochets. So for row 1, we're going to do 8 half double crochets into this loop. So we have 1, yarn over into the loop, grab your yarn again, and pull through. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull your tail if you need to. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. Keep in mind every row is half double crochet, and for row 2 we're going to do 8 half double crochet increases all the way around, so that's 2 stitches in every stitch for a total of 16. So increase, half double crochet, 1 and 2. Half double crochet, increase, 3 and 4, half double crochet increase, 5 and 6, half double crochet increase, 7 and 8, half double crochet increase, 9 and 10, half double crochet increase, 11 and 12, half double crochet increase, 13 and 14, and the last half double crochet increase, 15 and 16. Now I'm not going to say half double crochet anymore. I'm just going to say increase and then count the single stitches as 1, 2, whatever. Okay. Round 3, we're going to do 1 half double crochet and then 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So remember, half double crochets, 1, and then an increase, 2 and 3, 4 and an increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12. Whoops. 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, increase, 17 and 18, 19, increase, 20 and 21, 22 and an increase, 23 and 24. Row 4, we're going to do 3 half double crochets and then an increase, and repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. So 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Row 5, we're going to do 4 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase, 35 and 36. Row 6, we're going to do 5 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and an increase, 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and an increase, 20 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and an increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and an increase, 34 and 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and an increase, 41 and 42. Row 7 is just going to be 42 half double crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Rows 8 and 9, we are going to be doing 42 front post, back post, half double crochets all the way around. So for the front post, remember, because you're doing half double crochets, you're going to yarn over. Then you're going to come down and around the stitch instead of going under the loops right here. So from the front side, you're going to go around that post, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, and pull through again. For the back post, you're going to yarn over, and you're going to come in from the back side around this post or stitch, grab your yarn, pull it all the way through and up, and then go through your 3 loops. So let's do another front post. Yarn over in the front and around that stitch, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through again. Now we're going to go in the back for the back post, yarn over, come in the back side and around that stitch and out, grab your yarn, pull through and up, grab your yarn, and go through all 3 loops. I'm going to do a couple more, then I'm going to speed up. So yarn over, we're doing a front one, so in the front and around that post, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through all 3 loops. And the back post, yarn over, come in the back, around that stitch and out, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn again, and go through all 3 of those loops. Now I'm going to speed up a little bit, and I'm just going to say front post, back post. So if you don't quite got it yet, go back and start and do these 6 front post and back post stitches. Or have a watch for the whole round. Sometimes going faster, it might make more sense. And then go back and try starting again. Okay, so we just finished our back post. So front post, half double crochet. Back post, half double crochet. Front post, half double crochet. Back post, half double crochet. Front post, half double crochet. Back post, half double crochet. Oh, I cut a thread there. Front post, half double crochet. Whoopsie. Back post, half double crochet. Front post, half double crochet. Back post, half double crochet. Front post, half double crochet. Back post, half double crochet. Front post, back post. front post, back post, 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 front post, back post. Remember, we're doing half, so yarn over, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post. Oop, I'm going to do that one again. Did something funny. So back post again for me. Front post. And back post as my last stitch. And you'll start to see a little bit of a brim forming. You can double check. It'll be really noticeable if you made a mistake and did 2 front posts or 2 back posts in a row. Mine looks okay, I think. So we got to do another row of the front post, back post, but this time it'll be a little easier because you already have that bump showing. So it's a little easier to remember where you are. So we yarn over in the front post, back post, front post, and back post. So see, you're starting to make little lines now as you're going front to back. So front post, remember half double crochets, so make sure you're yarning over, back post, front post, 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 did I say back post? Now a front post, back post, front post, and your last back post. And then I just slip stitch into the next stitch because you can't really tell that you went in the rounds. It all stays kind of even. And there you go. If you made it this far and you're happy with your hat, great job, because that's not the easiest stitch to do, and it's definitely not the easiest stitch to teach. And if you aren't happy with it, or it's looser than you'd like, you can always go back and restart, watch the first 4 to 6 stitches, and then maybe even mute me so you're not listening to me saying front post, back post when you're on a different stitch than I am. But it's definitely worth learning because you can use this stitch on all kinds of little brims, sleeves, toques, whatever you're deciding to make. So I'm just going to cut this so I can weave in the end. I'm going to get rid of my stitch marker. I'm just going to go on the inside now. So I'm flipping it out. And I'm just going to come down a few stitches. Actually, I'm going to come into my single crochets, or not my single crochets, they're half double crochets, but where it's not front loop, back loop. And I'm just going to go back and forth there a few times, just because it's a little bit tighter of a stitch there. And don't pull it too tight because you do want it to have a little bit of stretch there. So just the natural tension. And just go back and forth 2 or 3 times. I'm going to do 3. Pull it to make sure it's got some stretch to it. And then I'm just going to trim that off. And I'm going to trim this top off. I'm just going to make a little bit of a pom-pom type top to stitch on there. I'm just going to go around 2 fingers a couple of times. Cut that off. Then I want to keep that middle pinched. And I'm going to tie another scrap of the same color evenly on both sides. Sorry, my hands are in the way, but so just like that. So I got about the same amount on this side and the same amount on this side. And I'm just going to tie it a couple of times so it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to cut those ends on both sides. And the more times you wrap it around, the more little puffs you'll have, but it might be a little harder to tie around. So obviously, most people probably have a better way to do this, so you do it however you prefer. I'm just doing a quick little one that's kind of floppy on top. Then I'm just going to go through a stitch. Maybe I'll find my back. I think, yeah, right there's my back, so that I'm on the sides. So I'm going down that side. And then I'll take my other end and go on the opposite side. Which I should have wrapped it around, but just so that if it gets pulled on, it's snugly attached there. So there's your little pom-pom. I'm going to tie it. And then I'm just going to put these ends back out, and they can just be one more little piece of the pom-pom after they're trimmed. So I'll just cut them evenly with the others. Oh yeah, so let's get the silver one now that I made before. All right, now we're going to be making the scarf, and we're going to be chaining. So you want to leave a little bit of a tail to weave in at the end, and then make your knot with the loop on the end. And I'm going to be making mine 50 half double crochets long. Now you can make yours any length you want, just add an extra chain to the end for the turn. So I'll be chaining 51. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and then our one extra chain for when we turn. You can just wrap it around the neck just to see the length. Remember that you also have to have a tie in there. And for me, that's okay because I want mine to just stick up over here. But if you want it to hang down, you'll do a couple extra chains. Maybe go in increments of 10 would be my suggestion. So once you have your length, you're going to go in your second chain from the hook. So not the one on the loop, not this first one, but this second one right here. and whatever you chained, you're gonna half double crochet back down to the end. So I did 50, so I am going to do 50 half double crochets across my chain, and make sure you don't twist it as you go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, whoops, I went under both. Nope, I didn't. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. And then you're just going to tie off that end, leaving a bit of a tail so that you can weave it in. So then you're going to grab your darning needle. I'm going to look for my back side and my front side, and I'm going to call this my back side. And then I'm just going to come in and catch these stitches. Probably about 6 or 7 or so. And then when you pull your end through, you want to bring that knot in, but you don't want to lose your point on your scarf or your stretch. So just keep it nice and loose, and then go back and forth a couple of times. Guess I'm going 3 times. Whoops. And then do the same thing for the other tail. Make sure you're on the same side you did the other one on. And then you'll cut that one off. And then let's put this on. So I just hold my one end like this, bring my other end around, flip it up inside there, try not to flip the front over, and then just give it a pull, kind of play with it a little bit. And there we go. All right, now we are going to start the top hat. And again, you can start any way you prefer, as long as row 1 is the same. I'll be doing my knot with the loop on the end. So I'll grab my yarn, pull it through, chain 1, remembering that doesn't count as a stitch. That is just to attach your yarn to your loop. And for row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop, going over the tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull your tail to close that hole. And grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets all the way around for a total of 12. So increase, 1 and 2, increase, 3 and 4, increase, 5 and 6, increase, 7 and 8, increase, 9 and 10, and increase, 11 and 12. Row 3, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, increase, 17 and 18. My angle is off here. Whoop. Row 4, you are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8. 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16. 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20. 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. Row 5, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5. 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15. 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20. 21, 22, 23, increase, 24 and 25. 26, 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30. Row 6, you're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, increase, 17 and 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, increase, 29 and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, increase, 35 and 36. Row 7, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase, 6 and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, increase, 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, increase, 20 and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, increase, 27 and 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, increase, 34 and 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, increase, 41 and 42. For the next row, we are going to be going in the back loops. So usually we will go underneath both sides of this V. To go in the back loop, we are going to go down in between the V and out the back. So for row 8, in the back loops, we are going to do 42 single crochets. So down into that V and out the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you should start seeing a little line right here, and that is going to make your hat start to go down the other way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. All right, now we're going to go back the normal way under both V's. For rows 9 to 13, just 42 single crochets all the way around, and that's 5 rows. And I'm going to grab my row counter, and let's start row number 9, 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 9. Next row, another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, whoopsie, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 10. Another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 11. Another row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That was row 12. And we're going to 13, so we have one more row of 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So that was row 13. And now we're going to start on the brim. So like we did before in the back loops, this time we're going to go in the front loops. So this time we're going to come and grab the very front side of the V and then go up through the middle and do our single crochets. So for row 14, in the front loops, you're going to do 6 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 48. So remember, go in that front loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your increase, 7 and 8. And if you're doing it properly, there will be a line kind of forming on the inside of your hat. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, increase, 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, increase, 31 and 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, increase, 39 and 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, and increase, 47 and 48. Row 15, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. I might make some mistakes because not only am I switching it up, we're going to do the increases first so that our brim is a little more rounder instead of like octagonal. And I'm also going by 9s, which I don't usually like to go much past 7s. Okay, so for row 15, we're going to do an increase and then 7 single crochets. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 54. And we're back going normal under both sides of the V. So increase, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, 10, increase for 10 and 11. Sorry, my brain is working backwards. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Again, increase, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Again, increase, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Again, increase, 37 and 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Again, increase, 46 and 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54. Yay, first try. Okay, in row 16, this will be our last row, unless you guys want to take it further and make the brim wider. Row 16 will be 8 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 60. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and an increase, 39 and 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, increase, 49 and 50, and this should be our last set, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, increase, 59, and 60. And then I'm just, I'm just going to do a couple slip stitches down, 2 or 3, just to kind of get rid of that uneven ridge. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to tie off around the 3rd one. It doesn't totally get rid of that little step, but it kind of helps out a bit. And then you're going to cut that off, leaving some tail to weave in. If you did want to make the brim larger, you'll just keep going in the same repeat pattern. So we just did 8 single crochets and an increase. You'll do 9 single crochets and an increase, 10 single crochets and an increase, and so on and so on. So let's get this little end down and in, and I'm going to bring mine past the brim and do it on the inside of the hat. And I go underneath that little ridge I made. And then just find whatever row of stitchings you want to go in. I'm going to go up a couple rows. And then just weave it in. Actually, I'm going to weave it in up and down. The rows seem like they go better this way for some reason. And depending if you're going to sew this on or leave it free and removable, will probably depend how much you want to, how many times you weave it around. So if you're sewing it on, you don't even really need to. And then if it is going to be played with or removable, you'll want to put it on a few extra back and forths. That could have been neater, but oh, that really could have been neater. Okay, trim that off. I'm going to get rid of my stitch marker. And we'll make a little band for that. Okay, so now we're going to make the little band that goes around the hat, and we're going to be chaining. Leave yourself a little bit of a tail. You might need it at the end or weave it in. And we are going to be doing our knot with a loop on the end. Because our hat is 42 single crochets around, I'm going to chain 42 single crochets and then 1 extra chain for the turnaround chain. So 42 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and then 1 extra for the turnaround. Now in that second chain from the hook, so not the one around your hook, not this first one, but this one down here, we're going to do 42 single crochets all the way back down, and make sure you're not twisting your chain as you go. So second chain from the hook, 42 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoopsie, 9. I'm trying to keep that out of the way, but it's not working good. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. And then you just tie that off with a tail long enough to go around your brim. So what I like to do is I just measure twice as much. Then I know I'll have lots of thread to sew that on. All right, so find your outside or your inside. You're going to fold that around. And what you want to do is you're going to tack these together. So I'm going to take my shortest end, which for me is the end I started with. And I'm just going to come up and down, kind of in the middle on this side. And then with my longer string that I'm going to use to sew around, I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So just make sure it's not twisted. Then you're going to come up. And then go back down in the middle somewhere. Not the same place you went with the other string because you want to tie those. Okay. And then give them a tie. For now, I'm going to leave my other end open just in case I want to tie it when I get back around with my stitching. So place your band on your hat. And you want your knots on the bottom, and you want to kind of line it up on the, so let's see, 1, 2, 3. So right here where you first started going on the front loops, so that when the brim comes up, it's just kind of sitting right there. So just try and keep it kind of close to that line. I'm going to start by going down. Sorry, I'm making this awkward and I'm not sure why. And you're just going to come back and forth. You can go as long as you want on the underside, but when you get to the top side that you're going to see, just do over 1 stitch. So you can skip like 3 or 4 stitches if you want. And then just over 1 stitch. So I'm basically just tacking this on. I'll let you decide how many stitches you want to go on the back side. So it will look like that, but it's not really going to be seen. Go around one stitch on the front and then skip a couple in the back if you're skipping like me. Make sure your band is staying nice and straight. I feel like there's an easier way to do this, but this camera is in my way. If you are skipping a bunch of stitches, don't pull that thread tight, because you don't want to change the size of your hat. And this hat should fit pretty much any of the ones I have so far. But if you are using the base pattern, sitting or standing, it will fit. Most of my heads are around between 30 and 42 stitches around. Whoops. You know, another fun thing after I just did that, you could go around with a different color. So if you were doing a red one, you could do green around like I just did and make a big long one. So you'd have a nice little kind of green stripe in the middle. Where do I want to come up here? All right, now we're back at the end, and I'm just gonna, oh shoot, we could have been going like this the whole time. I'm just gonna come up and down where I joined, just for one extra little bit of a stitch. And then we can tie these and cut them in the inside if we want. I want to make sure I'm not in the same stitch. I am in the same stitch somehow. Okay. Then I'm just going to tie those. And of course you can make your inside look a little prettier than mine does. And you can weave those in or cut them. I'm going to just cut mine since it's just for the tutorial. Alright, so let's put the hat on this other one. It's crooked. So I guess thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video. And like always, take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.